Hey guys, what is up? This is Mustang's Blue Guy Extra, and welcome to a new series on GTA 5. It's another rally series after the BeamNG one didn't quite take off due to numerous reasons, including the fact that BeamNG was rather difficult to set up constantly every week. So we have this new rally course that goes down this tight, twisty bit, which should test the maneuverability through all of these nasty hairpins. We have a good fair few of them, and then, but it's not just a turning track, as I call it, because there's also this really fast downhill section where speed will be crucial here, and having high-speed maneuverability will also be crucial, so you don't end up in one of these deadly bushes. Braking will also be tested. You have a high-speed braking zone going into this chicane bit. You can't just cut the corner. You have to follow the route. Then you have to go up here. If you can get airtime if you have a fast enough vehicle. And then you just go all the way over here, and you finish off by not cutting any corners over here, especially this one. You can't just go like up the hill over there. You can go on the brown bit, but not up there. And then you finish over there. So that is our circuit that we are going to be driving vehicles down. So instead of our tarmac circuit, we have a majority of off-road, which should be interesting to see if some of the off-roaders can beat any of the supercars. Speaking of off-road vehicles, the first vehicle of this series to be run down here is a bright blue dubstep. Because why not? I figured it had a good blend of speed and handling. And I was hoping that this vehicle would be relatively easy to drive, yet fast down this circuit. Now, you do need to be careful of those curves. The curves are vicious here. They're not even man-made curves, they're just naturally there. We learned that from the being a Sanchez. You see I got a little bit on two wheels. But, yeah, the first run things were going well until I outbrake myself and right into the wall. Yeah, that just shows the difference in braking distance. But the Dopes 6x6 was actually a pretty easy vehicle to track down the mountain, as I hoped for my first vehicle down here. You do have to watch out about that bump on the inside. You can shorten that corner. However, you do risk hitting a bump that can make you go wide. Luckily, this vehicle is good enough suspension-wise to negate those bumps, so it doesn't really matter. Now, this does have a little bit of understeer, and that is apparent through the hairpins, but it's half decent on brakes, has good speed. So, besides the slight bit of understeer, there's no real problems with it. And you have big airtime heading onto the downhill speed zone. Gotta avoid trees and the bushes before we slam on the brakes, so we can get it stopped for this chicane. All you gotta do is jump up here. Only a few more corners left to go. Dealing with the bumps nicely. Doing a bit of a wheelie, but it's fine. Almost outbrake myself. Only able to recover with a little difficulty. Turn the corner. Last corner to go, a bit of a slide, and across the line with a jump. Yeah, pretty nice car, pretty solid vehicle, if you ask me. No major faults. Good suspension, good speed, not the best acceleration, and it does have a slight bit of understeer, but overall, a solid vehicle. For my next car, I wanted a bit of a classic, sports classic. So I chose the Z-Type, basically a Bugatti Type 57 Atlantic. And I chose this car because I wanted to have 3 different varieties of vehicles for the first video on this. Plus, I'm hoping to see one of these at the concourse of the Gons in 20 days or so, by the end of the month. I saw one last year at the concourse, but I'm hoping to see one again this year, because they're very nice and expensive cars. But in GTA, It's a very nice sports classic to drive. There's no major problems with it. Despite the fact that it's rear-wheel drive, it has lots of traction, pretty decent straight line speed, and very good brakes. And it can handle the off-road capacities necessary for this course rather well. And it is one of the older cars in the game, so that's another reason why I want to put it in here. It has phenomenal brakes. Unfortunately, I braked too late for the bumps, and the bumps caught me out, and went right into the wall. I brake a little bit earlier, just so you can get stopped for that bumpy, entrance to the chicane. Got a big slide, managed to keep it under control. Got a bit of airtime. That's what I was talking about earlier. You can get airtime on that jump. Unfortunately, didn't manage to spin it. Still a very nice and capable vehicle for what it's for going well out of its comfort zone. And might have outbraked myself slightly. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate, and it is a shame it decided to hide in the bushes. It did not like that. Now, after the first run, where I got pretty far in, I thought this vehicle would take the second run afterwards. Didn't quite take that long. Took a little bit longer than that. Still not the worst vehicle I've ever had. I think the worst one I had was the Trofeos Rally in the previous Rally series, simply because it had so many problems with oversteer. The twitchy back end just went out on it all the time. So it didn't quite take as long as that. However, it did take a fair bit longer than the Dubso, which made on his second attempt. This was the 5th or 6th attempt, I think, with the Bugatti, with the Type 57, but wasn't too shabby, and certainly a very capable vehicle for what it's driving on. Almost outbraked myself, a little bit of a slide did help me there. Now, you do get airtime here, but you have to be wary of the bumps. This vehicle did not like the bumps heading onto that, this long corner over here. You see the back end is want to step out on you, and you gotta be able to control that so you don't spin, because we're coming up to the final corners now. Ran a tiny bit wide, and we don't quite jump across the line. Yeah, the Z-Type, considering that it is a classic, basically Bugatti, I think it fared remarkably well. And to finish off, we have the Vagner. It only seems right since this car was just released. And out of the three, out of the three vehicles I've driven so far, the one in the review, my own personal one, and this one, I still firmly believe that this is my favorite vehicle in this game now. It is absolutely lovely to drive. And, well, it has, or not, you may think that it would struggle around this off-road track, but GTA doesn't really care about what car, the suspension clearance and all that stuff. It really doesn't care that much about it. So, supercars can go off-roading just as easily as off-roaders, in some cases better. So, yeah, that's just the way GTA 5 works, but that means this vehicle absolutely flies through here. It is an absolute charm to drive. And it drives fast. I have a custom one. It's maxed out in racing green. I don't do that to it, though. Yeah, I was feeling confident, and I slightly outbraked myself. That I think that tire wall is going to claim many victims. But the Vagner is, as you would expect, incredible around here. I say as you would expect, it's a Aston Martin Valkyrie Road Eagle LMP car. And you wouldn't expect that to do well off-road, but it is remarkably good through these hairpins. And down these straights, it has the acceleration to outmatch anything you've driven so far. Even the six-wheel drive Dubsta has no chance of beating this. It is just so ridiculously fast. So, props to you, Dubashi and Roxar, for getting this car made, because I love it. Gonna brake a little bit earlier, just so when you hit that bump, you don't die. And I expected to get lots of airtime, and indeed I did. We got a lot of airtime. The Z-Type got a little. This got a lot more than a little. And thanks to the downforce, it was much better at dealing with the bumps, so it didn't spin out nearly as often. Coming to the final corner, a little bit of a slide from the back end and across the line. I'm amazed I got that stop without hitting anything, because I was way off position. And I had to hit my timer, it's not a timer. So, pretty good, I would say. Pretty good run. And certainly a phenomenal car, both on-road and off-road. And unsurprisingly, the Vagner will go in the first place with a 1:16.99. That is many seconds ahead of the second place car, the Z-Type, with a 1:22.38. And rounding off the top three and rounding out last place in number 3 is the Dubstep 6x6 with a 1:24.16. Kind of ironic that a off-roader is the slowest vehicle on this off-road track. And I'm not expecting it to beat the Vagner, but I was a little surprised that it didn't beat the Z-Type. I thought the Dubstep would fare a little bit better compared to the Z-Type. But that is it for this episode of GTA 5. I'll be back with more.